was that if a 0 has a multiplicity that is greater than 1, it is counted that many times. So we talked about this a little bit. If it has a multiplicity of 2, it's counted as 2 zeros. So now, into what Descartes' rule of signs actually is. Okay, Descartes' rule of signs says so the first part says it's to find positive real zeros. Okay, so the number of positive real zeros equals the sign changes, S-I-G-N, like sign changes, so positive to negative, in f of x. Or, and this is important, an even number less than that. And I'm going to put in parentheses, you can't have less than 0, so you can't go negative. So 2 talks about negative real zeros. The number of negative real zeros equals the sign changes in f of negative x, or an even number less than that. Again, you can't go negative. The reason why it's an even number less than that is because complex zeros travel in pairs, so they have to have a buddy with them. You can't just have one. So, and then to find the complex number of zeros, take 1 and 2, add them together. Whatever's left over is complex. Whatever's left over from the total. So we're going to look at a couple examples. So, example number 1. So we're going to find all the types of real zeros. So P of x equals, and these types of problems, like this is what you should be doing on your homework. So for 60 and 61, 62, you should be doing like this.
What numbers?
60, 61, and 62. You should list positive, total, positive, negative, positive, real, negative, real, and complex. Alright, so I'm going to find out total, first of all, would be what? It's the same as the degree, so what's the degree?
Oh, negative e, I mean,
the highest
11.
exponent.
5.
5. Okay? So the total is 5, positive real, negative real, and then complex. I'm just going to write it smaller. Okay, so now to find the total, we just take the degree. To find the positive real, you count the sign changes, so you don't have to do anything, you count the sign changes. So it goes from positive to positive, that's no sign change. Positive to negative, that's a sign change, right? So I'm going to mark it. Negative to positive, that's another sign change, correct? So I'm going to mark it. So my positive real could either be 2, or an even number less than that. An even number less than that would be 0, and you can't go negative. Now for negative real, it says you have to plug in f of negative x. So we need to plug in negative x. So negative x to the 5th plus 4 negative x cubed minus negative x squared plus 6 times negative x. So what happens to the sign here? Does it change or does it stay the same? Well, it'll be negative x to the 5th. Okay, and then what happens here? So minus 4x cubed.
Changes.
So this one's going to make positive, so minus x squared. And then what happens here? Just negative, right? So how many sign changes are in this? None, right? 0. So that means 0, and I'm going to have to also list 0 down here because it won't go down any more than that.
How are there no sign changes?
Negative, 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 negative.
Yeah, but from the original third.
We're not talking about from the
This
original.
is a reminder to the students and faculty that tomorrow morning we will be having a presentation